frig off, bug. All right, I'm gonna try to installify this, I guess, right above this piece of channel iron, because this way we don't have to worry about clearance issues with the toolbox. And I guess that's what the holes are, essentially, that have been notched out of the side of that as they go over this cord for the brakes and the lights and everything. All right, well, this is going to be interesting because, as you can see, this is a tilt deck trailer, and if we put the winch here, you know, that cable is going to go up and rub on this deck. So what I've actually done is yesterday I made a roller. I anticipated this problem. So the roller is going to install up here somewhere, so that way the cable will come out the winch, go up across the roller, and then down the deck, and we shouldn't have it rubbing on anything. So hopefully that checks out. Man, I can't have you borrowing my tools. You're gonna have to get your own stuff. Look at the size of that thing. He's gotta be good for what, maybe 50 calories? What do you guys think? I don't even know where to set this little creature. I don't know what he wants. Shade, maybe? That's what I want. Oh, there you go. All right, there is no feasible way for me to fit this plate down inside of this tongue. So I decided we just have to choose an alternate mounting location, and I picked the top of this thing. I think it's gonna work out pretty well. I can't immediately think of any reason why it would not. I've been looking at this. I wanna tie it into the gooseneck tongue and also this vertical beam here and this cross member if we can manage that. I wonder if it's gonna be possible to hang the winch upside down here so it'll be like out of the weather. Otherwise we'll have to bolt it on top of this plate and make a cover for that so there's not a gap there. It's gotta improvise sometimes, I guess. I mean, I honestly have no idea how I would manage to fit this in here. Maybe I'm just missing something, I don't know. All right, so I've now gotten this plate welded on here, and I brought the winch out, and I realized that just in the spirit of everything being as complicated and frustrating as humanly possible, there's no way to mount whatever that thing is technically called to the front of this winch, which is extremely frustrating because I've bought two other winches from this company. Granted, one was larger, the other was about this size, if not smaller, and both of them had a mounting point on the front of the winch for that thing. but this one doesn't. So I have to spend a couple hours of my time fabric cobbling this thing together and installifying it, and now we gotta wait for this paint to dry. What's really weird is there's all these random bugs. I don't know if you can see them on camera. They're like fruit flies or gnat-sized bugs or whatever, and they're showing up here. Happy to capitalize on drying Rust-Oleum, I guess. I don't know. I've never seen bugs attracted to wet paint before, but they seem to like this for some reason. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Now that that's on here, hopefully I can get the thingamajigger installified and we'll run some wires. Why does everything have to be more complicated than it needs to be? The plus side is now the winch is a lot more protected if anything ever comes loose on the trailer, and I think this thing kind of looks cool. All right, this is the big moment. I just wired this in. Let me show you the good, bad, and the ugly of this winch install. The ugly is the way that they have the solenoid mounted to this thing, which is there's these two brackets which just kind of latch onto this in a very, very, like, even by my standards, crude way. And you can see the way it's held in place on the back side is there's just that one random screw. Oh boy, yeah, that's the ugly for me. The bad is that this arrived with a cracked case, as you can see. I don't think I'm gonna buy more Smitty built stuff. You know, I've had 3 winches from them and all of them have actually worked, but one of them arrived missing parts and this shows up with shipping damage. I don't know, once is an accident, 2 out of 3 times is not something I wanna mess with. But the good is that I was able to take some of this nylon protective sleeve material and use that to run in these cables so they're protected from the elements up here. This is really made for use on hydraulic lines, but it's so excellent for other stuff. It protects abrasion, you know, not so much in this case, but if you got like a hydraulic hose where every time the hydraulics kick on or off, like the hose is flexed so it's dragging across the surface like that, it'll protect that and it'll keep things out of the sun. So yeah, I wired this into the same battery that the hydraulics on this use to tilt the deck, so let's see if it actually works. I've not tried this yet. Oh yeah! Oh, this is cool. It works. Alright, well I think I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit, run some zip ties on the wires and maybe touch up the paint a little, and we're gonna try and load something on this. Functionally, it is everything I hoped it would be. As you can see, I've gotten the roller installed and it looks like it's gonna clear the lip of that deck, which is good because I don't wanna tear the daylights out of this cable. One other thing I'll say is the entire time when I was installifying these angle iron bars and the whole thing through the winch, the battery in this has not been charged. So if it seems a little slow, I'm gonna cut it some slack. So you can see I've had it plugged in, but there's only like a 5 amp trickle charger on here, so it's still probably pretty far from full. All right. This is one complaint I already have with this winch. It's kind of hard to tell when the freewheel clutch is engaged or disengaged. Oh no, it's touching. It's not supposed to be doing that. All right, well that means we're gonna have to set this down a little bit. Now I will say, in my defense, I did kind of clock this as much as I could to see if it was gonna rub at any point. You can see it's actually a little kind of farish there. Let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, now we're not touching. The other thing, although it's close, it's close. The other thing I'd like to point out is some people will wonder, I mean, is it a really good idea to put, in this case, probably about 8,000 to 9,000 pounds for that tractor's worth of weight on the front of this thing? Well, as you can see, this is right above the scissor lift, so this is arguably the strongest point on the entire trailer deck. It's either here or right over the hinges. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know. All right, let's see. I hope I didn't instinctively put that tractor in park. Oh! All right, that would explain things. Oh yeah, here we go. Now we're talking. Really no safe place right now. Look, we're missing the deck. I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but we're missing it by maybe a ½ inch. Oh, she's a banging around. Oh wow, it worked. It worked. The tractor's on the deck at this point. If I needed to, I could just lower the deck and drive it up the rest of the words. Ah, success. Nerve-wracking success, but it's still success. All right, well, point proven. Now I will say that tractor is pretty much the absolute max weight-wise this winch can pull. You can hear it's really straining. So if I was gonna load this for realsies, now that I've done it, you know, so to speak, once, I would use a snatch block and bring that line back up and like tie it off probably to that, I don't know, somewhere on here, because that was pretty much all it had in it. But this is also the heaviest tractor that I have here. So yeah, all right, success. Simple roller made out of 2 universal pillow block bearings and an old axle. This thing was kind of a pain to put it where it was. This entire project took a lot longer than it was supposed to. I mean, actually welding in the winch plate and getting that in place, that only took about an hour and a half or so. So that I was actually pretty pleased with. But the problem is, of course, I can't get the plate to fit where it's supposed to fit. And then once we get it on there, the stupid winch, I guess they stopped putting on a place for the thingamajigger to attach to the front of it. I mean, maybe this model's always been like that. I don't know, but whatever the case, I wasn't expecting it, so that was a major time derailment. And then running wiring and everything is, even when it goes pretty well like it did today, it's still a major time sink. So, these cables aren't even warm. That's pretty cool. All right, success. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more.